So what's your fascination with cars?
Well, I was always fascinated with, I don't know, I think on one level I think technically I like meddling with them. And when I was broke and living in Queens, I, would buy a car and fix it up, and kids in the neighborhood were really proficient at that. And it was really the only way to have a decent car. And I'd buy a car for $800 and go to the junkyard and put a fender on and do body work and fix some engine stuff, modify it, make it a little faster, use it for a while, flip it for $2,000, buy another car for $2,500, and that's how it was. I grew up drag racing with them as well. So I don't know. I like driving. I like mechanical toys. I don't know, I think a lot of guys do.
You collect cars?
I'd like to. I need to do bigger movies.
What about motorcycles?
I like motorcycles too. I have a few motorcycles.
You had a moment in the 90s with the motorcycle, didn't you?
Yeah, an unfortunate moment. I actually didn't ride for 10 years from that moment, and then my friend gave me Ducati for my 30th birthday and for winning the Academy Award. That was a very generous gift that I couldn't say no to, which rekindled my need for speed.
What was that moment, though?
What was it? I mean, it was an unfortunate moment in LA, and in LA, I had a motorcycle, I had a cheap old Honda CB that it was out of necessity, not out of being cool or it was cheap. I was living in a $375 a month apartment, furnished in Koreatown, which it was in the paper and it said Hollywood. It's funny because I moved there and I took a semester. Yeah, well, it was technically Hollywood. I mean,
Hollywoodland.
It was Hollywoodland. Once it may have been Hollywood. Unbelievable, but it's funny because I had a friend of mine who we had done a commercial together when I was 16. I sold him my Mustang, then my Mach 1, 1972 Mach 1, which he drove cross country and got ripped off by every mechanic along the way, and it broke down the whole time, and he hated me for that. But I came, and he was my one friend in LA. I came and stayed with him, and then got my own apartment. And he said, anything west of here is good. He was living on Rossmore. He was right on Vine. And he said, go a little further west, and it's great. And I thought east was west. And it was cheap, $375 a month. I mean, it was cheap. So I took it, and then I had a motorcycle. And I was driving down Melrose, and you can't make a left turn in LA until the light changes. That's really the way it is, and the cops kind of give you a two per red leeway. Every way you look, there's two cars going after the red because no one will be able to make a turn. And I was going to make the light, and there was a van obscuring the woman's vision, and she didn't look. And she pulled out in front of me as I was speeding up to go through the yellow, and she saw me and stopped, and I T-boned her and ended up in the next intersection. I cleared the whole crosswalk. I bent the handlebars forward. I snapped my fingers back. It was terrible. They were asking me my name and the year. There was a helicopter circling. It was bad. I didn't really break anything, but I hurt myself badly. I was on crutches for a while. And my parents were mortified. And so I laid off. My bike was totaled and bought a cheap car. Stopped riding for a long time. So hopefully, I was saying actually on the ride over that I try to ride less in traffic, although it's very convenient. It's very convenient, but I'm a little more cautious on the bike, and I like to take rides with it. I take canyon rides, and I rode up to Laguna Seca for the MotoGP. bought a new R1 and took it up there. And it was fantastic ride. So that kind of stuff is great.
You were talking earlier about your next movie you're going to do in India, the Wes Anderson movie, and your bike you've got there.
Yeah.
We'd probably love to hear about that a little
Well,
bit.
I'm going to do a movie this December with Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson and Jason Schwartzman. And I was in India last year exploring, and they make. I've been in the market for a sidecar because I really like sidecars. I thought that'd be cool to have a sidecar.
It's hard to go to the club and pick up the ladies.
Yeah, especially if you have a solo seat on my bike. I'm so stupid. I bought this like really hot full bike, and I can't pick up anyone. They can look at it, and I can't give them a ride home. It's the stupidest thing I've ever done. I made it like so hot. I took the rear seat and the rear pegs off, and I'm like, defeated the whole purpose. Not always bright, but aesthetically it's beautiful. The price of a sidecar, which is very hard to find. Go try and find a sidecar. It'll take you a while, even with the internet. Go try and find a sidecar in good shape that looks good. It's hard. And for the price of a sidecar, I could buy a brand new Royal Enfield and a sidecar in India, and just about ship it home. So I did that. Went to the dealer when I was there, bought a Royal Enfield and a sidecar. And it took a while for the order to come in. The order was coming in. They were just about to send it, and I got the job with Wes. So I kept it there. So I'll have my Royal Enfield that cruise around. And I spoke to Wes about it. The movie takes place on a train. And he said, well, we'll use it in the movie because there was a scene with the brothers on a motorcycle. I think my other brother is the one driving, but who knows, maybe I can get him to change that by then. We're going to actually use the train and the props on the train, and it's going to actually be traveling. And so we're going to use my bike probably in the movie, and I get to take it off when we're in a new part of town and use it. Should be pretty exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, very exciting.
This is Rolling Stone Online. Thank you for listening.